What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Adventures of Mark and Finn with Brent, and we're going to be working on that name, making it more streamlined here soon. But it's new comic book day discussion today, since DC just dropped today and everything else drops tomorrow. So if you're watching this, if you don't mind, hit that like button. It helps the channel out. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know when we go live or post videos in the future. And if you want it, we would be more than happy to have you join us in the comments section. And if you want to talk about this stuff with us, that'd be awesome. Because we definitely get excited for these books and all this content coming out. And that's why we started doing this, just to be able to talk more about it with more people and just expand our personal comic community. As a lot of y'all know, if you've watched any of the other videos, me and Brent grew up together, but now we don't even live in the same town. So this is an awesome way of me and him being able to do what we do on a normal basis, but with new people. And we look forward to growing it so we're able to do that. With that being said, what's going on, Brent?
Oh, not too much, man. Just ready for new comic day tomorrow. Ready to discuss what we're looking forward to and all that good stuff.
And even though, where I'm at, when DC books drop, they sell those DC books. And lucky for me, Tuesdays are my off days, so I'm more DC heavy than anything to begin with. So I go and pick up my DC books. But the shops where you're at, they don't. None of them do.
No, they all stick to the Wednesday release day for everything.
So that being the case, we're not going to be doing spoilers on this. We're just going to be talking about what's coming out and what seems like it's interesting to us, what seems interesting to the mass group of people that we hear talking about, whether we read it or not. Like, I know the new Venom issue's coming out, and I don't read Venom, but I know a lot of people are reading Venom and enjoying the Donny Cates stuff, and it's also very enjoyable for the spec market as well. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in it, that people enjoy chasing those books and everything. So there's every aspect of what makes comic collecting enjoyable is all going on in the Donny Cates, Venom, and Thor stuff right now. And I'm not on any of that stuff. If I just didn't catch it at the beginning, so I'm not jumping in now. There's plenty of other stuff that I do keep up with.
Right.
But what do you got coming out this week that you're looking forward to?
So this week, I got a few things. First one is, I know we've talked about it before, Speed Metal, death metal tie-in. Super excited, kind of been following everything up through, there you go, through Flash Forward, and everything like that, with Wally getting his Dr. Manhattan powers via the Mobius chair. So really looking forward to that as well. Kind of renewed my love for Wally West through that series. Also coming out this week is Daredevil. Chip Zdarsky, his run has been awesome on Daredevil. I didn't think that I was going to continue picking it up after Charles Soule, got off the series. But he's done a fantastic job with kind of doing a different thing with Daredevil this time around. And then we have kind of an older love for us coming out. Power Rangers Drakon New Dawn is coming out this week, number 2. Of course, I'll be getting the cover A, also the foil variants, because like I stated before, I'm a sucker for a good foil variant. It's kind of a bittersweet thing. I know that they are doing the Drakon helmets for the series. I will be sad to see them go, but I will also be happy to see them go as well. One of the indie titles I get from Image, Gideon Falls, comes out this week as well. Really excited for that. I've told you before how big of a fan I am of the creative team of Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino.
Are they the ones that did Killer Smile?
Yeah, they did Killer Smile.
Lemire wrote it. I just couldn't remember the artist.
Yep, yeah, he did. Sorrentino did Killer Smile as well as the Batman one-shot, The Smile Killer, which was really cool, kind of a reality questioning one-shot story, which I thought was really cool.
I'd have to go back and look at the artist name, but I picked up all the B covers for that series. Those beautifully painted covers were just awesome.
Oh yeah. But yeah, they've done a few things that I've been a big fan of. I know they did Green Arrow back in the day of the New 52 era, and they also did the Old Man Logan storyline once after the whole Secret Wars kind of reboot a few years ago. They did Old Man Logan and phenomenal story called, which is I think it's actually called The Last Ronin, which is kind of funny. But yeah, Gideon Falls, awesome, sort of a interdimensional cosmic horror book. I'll be talking about that. They have some awesome covers for that one as well. I'm also, it is kind of off topic as it seems. I'm a big fan of just like old school maps and stuff like that. One of the things that I actually got from Heroes Con one year was a map of Gotham that this guy had made. There's a compilation of a lot of stuff from like No Man's Land and some of the Arkham video games. But yeah, so they did a few map covers for Gideon Falls, which I might show off when we discuss the book. And I know a big one for both of us this week, we've been waiting quite a while for it, is the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man book. Number 4 comes out this week. Super excited for that.
Don't forget to credit Henry Abrams with that as well, his son.
Yeah.
And it's really cool seeing a father-son creative team because, again, with Romita Sr. and Romita Jr., John Romita Jr. was 13 years old when he came up with the concept for the Prowler that his dad then drew into comics. So it's just really cool to see that because it's not the first time a father-son have actually creatively worked on a title together. And it's kind of funny that it's also Spider-Man where the Romita Sr. and Romita Jr. all kicked off. You know, it's really cool. I'm not sure how old Henry is, but yeah.
For sure.
You know, with this channel being child heavy with Finn, you know, that's my little homie, my main man with pots and pans. So I definitely want to credit where credit's due with Henry.
For sure. And then I think I'll be picking up a few the Timeless variants as well this week.
We got the She-Hulk one. There's the Silver Surfer one with Fantastic Four coming out. Not sure what the other ones are, but chasing those down is going to be fun.
For sure.
I spoke to Paul at the Augusta Book Exchange and asked him how difficult it would be to just do that, and it's not exactly easy from the shop owner standpoint just to pull like that. Just looking at the generic list that they're able to pull from and stuff, I'm sure he could go to more links to do it, but I wouldn't want to ask him to do anything like that. It's just I'm happy chasing them if I got to.
Oh yeah, it's part of
they're just standard. Yeah, they're just standard cover Bs. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
Or C's or whatever cover number they are. They're not ratio variants, so they're not going to be hard to find except when they do more one per store variants.
Yeah, I feel like the Silver Surfer one may be a little more sought after because they have that first appearance in Fantastic Four this week.
Yeah, luckily I already subbed to that title just because it started out with Neal Adams being a part of that book. So I'm like, I love Marvel's First Family, love Neal Adams. You know, it's cool as some of the modern artwork is, and it is really good artwork. When I think comic books, my mind automatically still goes back to that stuff that was being drawn when I was first introduced to comics. You know, that nostalgic stuff still stands taller to me than the newer stuff does.
Definitely.
And I'm not even too impressed with his work on the cover of issue 1. It was definitely not upper tier Neal Adams. Oh, she looks cute. Look at this baby, Brent. Fresh out the shower. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean.
Hey there.
I'm sorry, did you comb it?
Yeah.
She smells good. What does Joe Biden do? Mwah.
That's funny. But yeah, I'd already talked to Paul, and he threw one of the Silver Surfer ones in my box as well. So looking forward to that. I mean, we've mentioned it before. Alex Ross, dude's a phenomenal artist.
My favorite.
Even back in the day, I feel like he was years ahead of everybody else, and he just brings a different, like a prestige to superheroes, like especially the way he kind of portrays them in their like golden age
Just classic.
outfits and stuff.
However
Yeah,
that character look in classic mode, that's the mode he goes with.
for sure. Yeah, it's
Except Wolverine. I tend to see him draw Wolverine brown a lot, and that's my favorite costume that Wolverine
yeah.
has.
I'm not complaining.
Not at all. Yeah,
No,
that's
I'll be looking forward to that timeless that he does as well.
mhm.
But like I've been kind of trying to hunt down some of the Alex Ross homage or
Homage.
homage, whatever you want to
Homage.
say. Yeah, some of those. I've got the Detective 1027, which I was very, very happy to get for a cheaper price whenever it first came out. As well as that Immortal Hulk number 20 that he did the
San
cover
Diego
swipe
Comic-Con
of.
exclusive.
Yeah. Very excited to get some of those. I think the next one I'm chasing down is that Amazing Fantasy 15 swipe that he did. I saw a graded one on eBay for, I would suppose, is a decent price. It was a 9.8. So, and I also have the Spectacular Spider-Man 300 swipe that he did of the first issue of him on the side of the building.
Yeah, that's the one you got slabbed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, so
and he's actually
always
on top
on the
of the
lookout
building.
for what's that?
Isn't he on top of the building? He's not even on the side of the building, is he? Or is that the other
Yeah,
one that you got? He's on the top of
yeah,
like the little ledge where it looks like he's on a wall, but really he's just crawling like a spider on the little ledge that keeps you from just walking straight off a roof, right?
Yeah.
It was a cool perspective because it tricks your eyes. I liked it a lot.
Definitely. I don't even think that I noticed it until I had actually gotten the book.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
That's good stuff.
So what about you? What else you got coming out this week?
Well, of course, I've got the Speed Metal, which I already had a chance to read it, and
I'm jealous.
like you touched on how it goes way back, to it really takes it all the way back to Flashpoint when all that started, and
Nice.
Wally was now gone, out of the timeline, and then with the rebirth even happening to begin with, him coming back. So if you want to take it as far back as that, you can, because Wally's memory and recollection goes back. He has his full recollection. He wasn't erased. He was just stuck in the Speed Force. So it's really cool seeing all this finally come to a head, because we've mentioned this before, like as cool as Barry Allen is, and he is super duper awesome character.
Yeah.
I'm still a Wally West Flash guy. I was born in '87. Wally was my established Flash. And if anyone who's a Barry Allen fan over Wally, I get it.
Right.
You weren't reading comics when Wally was the Flash. I get it. But it finally gets addressed for all you Barry fans. What needs to be said gets said in this issue, and I'm very excited for that because it's what Wally fans have known the whole time.
Awesome.
And it's awesome. They really establish like a necessity for more than one Flash, because it gets kind of overload sometimes, because you have Barry, Wally, Jay, Wally, Max Mercury, Johnny Quick, and all these characters, they have their place. They all belong. We have a Bat family, we have a Flash family, but they honestly all have their place. And in my opinion, Wally more than any of them,
Right.
It's really, really, really cool what gets established in here. And it's been established before, but for all these people that haven't heard it, that haven't been pointed out or said in a while, what needs to be said gets said. And I loved it. And then I've been picking this up since issue 1, but I got Batman Superman number 2, not
Nice.
number 2. Jesus, criminy crackers, it's number 12. But yeah, ever since the Year of the Villain stuff that went on in Justice League so long ago bled over into Batman Superman number 1. You kind of went from Metal to the Batman Who Laughs miniseries to stuff going on with Year of the Villain, and it led into Batman Superman number 1. So I was following it through there. And that's when I got put on to Hell Arisen, because Batman Superman issue 4 or 5 continues in Hell Arisen, and that was fantastic. I love that, despite the difficulties with issue 3 at the time, with the first appearance of Punchline going down, which after the fact I'm glad that it went down, because I've got that. And I was big with the cover Bs again, because they had the fantastic painted covers, and So now I've got a set of each. Because I was kind of having to just grab whichever was left kind of thing. I'm not ever very picky about what covers I get in my box. Like this is a cover B. There's certain stuff like this that I just read for the story. I don't expect it to do much or any need to have a specific cover. My Justice League stuff, I do the same way. But so I had a mix match set, and I really wanted all the cover Bs for that. And I ended up with a cover A, and the second and third print are all cover A's for that issue number 3. And you were cool enough to get me that birthday present of that cover B. And on top of that, I really like Captain Marvel. Like growing up, Kingdom Come being my favorite story, Captain Marvel, Shazam was
a big role.
Well, he was like one of my favorite superheroes. I used to have this anger towards Superman growing up for some reason, and now he's like him and Hulk are my 2 favorite heroes. But watching Shazam just lay it down in Kingdom Come, I thought that was awesome. So I've always had this love for Shazam, and it's really the old school Shazam, because once you hit like the series in the 90s, Power of Shazam is when they started kind of like leaning into him having that child mentality even as Captain Marvel. I'm not too big of a fan of that. But that issue 3 B cover with King Shazam up there, and man, I loved it with all the details and the stitching on his suit and everything. It was just cool. That's a dangerous character. But I really do just like the child mentality when he's Captain Marvel, because he has the wisdom of Solomon. There's nothing childlike about that anymore.
Right.
Kind of just throwing that out. He's still strong. He's still fast. Still got the stamina, but all of a sudden he's immature. I get you needed to make him your own thing and stand him out in some way, shape, fashion, or form. But I mean, it can be done well at times, but I just prefer him to be the Captain Marvel from the 1940s serial with Tom Tyler playing him, because that was the best rendition of Captain Marvel ever. But I got those 2 for DC that came out, and like I mentioned, I'm getting the Fantastic Four, and it's 2 of a 4-issue miniseries. And they're supposed to, like you said, it's supposed to be a first appearance of the Galactus from the Negative Zone, which is, who knows if there'll be something that sticks or not. They just killed Galactus in the main continuity, and I'm sure that won't stick after a while, but that's a really big deal in itself. And then Immortal She-Hulk is going to be a 4-issue miniseries as well, and they're going to have the timeless variant for that I'm really excited about. And I think Al Ewing is writing it. I'm not 100 on that, but I'm pretty sure he was writing it. And I'm excited to really see how they kind of integrate that into the Hulk. I'm hoping it has some overlap with the main series, because that was a weak intro into an Empire. It was just a throwaway concept, because when they introduced the Immortal Hulk back in No Surrender in that 12-part mega event that was all included inside of the actual Avengers title, it was really cool. I was impressed with how they did that. They kind of built him up over a few issues.
Yeah.
But Maestro is going to have a second print for issue 1, and I'm a huge Hulk fan again, so I was able to get all the covers for issue 1, and the second print is an awesome cover image of him waking up after having years of just being hooked up to a machine, just feeding him, kind of keeping him alive and keeping his mind going, and he wakes up with his beard just screaming and pulling out of a machine. It's kind of like Neo waking up out of the Matrix, just sitting up off the chair real quick. But it looks awesome, and it was a really cool moment in the book, and it made the cover for the second print. So I'm going to grab one of those, as well as Maestro number 2. I'm going to try to get all the covers for that. I don't think they're going to do as many as they did for issue 1, so that'd be a relief. And like you said, J.J. Abrams and Henry Abrams, Spider-Man number 4. And I'm very excited for that, because it's pretty much an Elseworld Spider-Man story going on.
Yeah.
It's got this. It started out the gate huge.
Oh yeah.
Huge. And seeing Peter down and out like that, and getting to see his son doing work is really cool.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of the Soul of the Dragon stuff that Boom Studios did, the Power Rangers graphic novel with Tommy's son, which was fantastic. But then I picked up. Yeah, you do. It was my favorite story that they've done. But Mega Man issue 2 is going to be coming out as well. I picked up issue 1. I remember playing the regular Nintendo video game Mega Man 2, but beyond that, I have no Mega Man knowledge. So it's just a sci-fi book for me, and I like sci-fi stuff. And I like to try to support Boom and give it a shot. And I wasn't disappointed with the first issue. It didn't stand out as nothing great or amazing, but I'm gonna read a few and see what it's like. And of course, Draken New Dawn #2 is going to be coming out, and I've got a stack of issue 1s, but I'm going to get the cover A, the foil Montez, and then I'm going to get the 1 per store variant, because every 1 per store variant that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Go-Go, the crossovers, there really hasn't been too much for the main series that they've done 1 per store variants, but I've managed to get all of them so far.
Nice.
And so I'm going to stick with that. And it takes a little bit of work to do it, but got a system. A system.
Excuse me.
But those are pretty much all the ones I'm going to be pick up. But definitely other books I want to point out that are coming out that in case people are interested in to know. The new Flash 762 is coming out, and the cover for it is amazing. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but it's a white background. Dude, it's awesome. It's a white background, and in the bottom corner, it's like an overhead shot. And you see Flash walking out the corner of the shot, but he's dragging Zoom behind him. And it's just,
nice.
He's laying there with his arms out, all Devil's Reject style, with a blood smear going up. It's awesome.
Oh, wow.
And I've heard a lot of good things about this current Flash stuff that's been going on. And then Action 1025 is coming out, which I'm not sure how Detective is past Action now in issue numbers, but I think they rushed some of them out. I don't know.
Probably.
But
I think there might have been a couple times when Detective was like a bi-monthly issue.
Mm-hmm. And Shazam #15 is coming out. Juggernaut #1. They're starting a new miniseries for Juggernaut. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries. #1 of that's coming out. There's a lot of cool store exclusives out there. If you're a Spider-Man 300 cover swipe fan, there's one of those out there. It looks weird seeing a big bulky guy like Juggernaut set up in that pose, but
yeah.
I'll pass. Like we mentioned before, Venom 28 is coming out. I'm sure there'll be a few covers for that.
Yeah, I think for Juggernaut, they're doing they're kind of revamping his. I think they're giving him a new suit and like kind of revamping or doing something different with his power or something like that.
I hope not. I hope they just lean into his actual power, because most people just assume he's a mutant.
Right. Yeah.
He's not.
It may have something to do with his powers. I can't remember, but I know he's supposed to be getting like an updated suit. So
that's pretty cool. And the X-Men stuff, at this point, I feel like it's the early 90s all over again, and I'm sure they're good. I've heard good things about them, but you've got numerous X titles. You got X-Men, Hellions. There's just countless
Marauders.
of them. Marauders. I haven't been keeping up with them.
Me neither.
It's the kind of stuff I might go back and read trades, or just kind of read like cliff notes on them just to kind of see what's going on. But that's its own thing in itself. All the X titles, and the new X of Swords is the new event that's going to be coming up with the X-Men titles and X of Swords Creations. I think it's just a one shot, just kind of leading into all that. That starts this week, starts tomorrow. So if people are interested in getting on X-Men, or there's an event about to happen and it's going to kick off tomorrow, we'll warm up.
I've heard a lot of good things about what Jonathan Hickman's doing with that stuff. That kind of started, like you said, with I can't even remember now what they were called. But with him kind of revamping everything, and them like getting on the island of Krakoa, if that's how it's pronounced. And
not pronounced Genosha.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Joss Whedon's run on Astonishing was groundbreaking, man. It was really good with the whole Genosha stuff and everything.
It's good stuff.
I feel like that wasn't the 90s. That was the early 2000s when they were doing all that. But those books were so good, man, that they actually made motion comics of them and sold them on disc. And they were good. And I don't doubt that these are good, but I don't know.
Right.
Everyone has different favorites, different things that they look forward to, and I think because of the huge difference in like the films. You know, the MCU
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the rights to the X-Men stuff for a long time, so they weren't able to put out those movies. So they kind of just shelved X-Men for so long, and we're just now getting them back. And it's kind of funny the timing with them getting the rights back to X-Men and buying 20th Century Fox. They start churning out solid X books again in a whole X-Men universe. I mean, it almost looks like when I go to the comic store, and I don't know why this is, but when I go, it almost looks like the X stuff is self-contained compared to the main Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's the same
And
thing with
they were
Fantastic Four
present.
too.
Yeah, they were all present in Empire, but I don't know. I think the continuity is just different than like you go back 15 years ago. Like if you pick up, if someone stubs their toe in this book and they guest star in someone else's book the next week, they're going to be limping still. The continuity was just really tight. And I know that with DC, they had that whole issue with New 52 with the continuity and so many writers and artists having difficulties trying to keep track of everything they were doing, that they kind of intentionally loosened it up and let everybody kind of just work on books more freely with less main continuity across all titles. That's why, like, if you want to look at death metal, you have to go back and you have to cherry pick stories from titles. Like you go back to the New 52 Dark Side War when you can catch like Dr. Manhattan killing Pandora and killing Metron. Then you fast forward to the DC Universe one shot with the whole button in there, and then fast forward again to the whole Year of the Villain stuff. And you switch over to Metal and Hell Arisen, the first couple of issues of Batman, Superman, and the Heroes in Crisis stuff, just so it leads you into Flash Forward, just so it puts you where you have to cherry pick it all, which it's a lot different than it was some years ago reading, but it's still fun.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's one, as much as I love like the continuity of a lot of things. I think that's what draws me to a lot of indie titles as well, is because they're all pretty self-contained, a lot of Image stuff. But.
And do you remember what I messaged you this morning? How I had a plan?
Oh yeah, being secretive and everything.
Yeah, well, it's because I didn't want to have a plan and it not work out. I didn't want to jinx it. But we're up to 40 subscribers, so I figure like as we hit kind of subscription benchmarks, we ought to do something like giveaways and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try to acquire something that was worth giving away, because there's no way in hell that I'm keeping it. So that should let you know what it is.
Probably a Peach Momoko cover. I knew it.
Yeah.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, if you say so.
Yeah.
So
well, just
I'm
like
a huge
cool
fan.
idea.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of Peach Momoko's art, not her comic book art.
Yeah.
I think that her art is amazing. It's intricate. It's got its own style to it. It is beautiful pencil work. And it's weird. If you look at a lot of her art that has nothing to do with comics, none of it has color on it. So I don't know why they thought it'd be a good idea to see if they can even see that on there.
Kinda,
really,
yeah.
Kind of coming in. There you go.
There you go.
So that's what Peach Momoko art looks like.
Yeah.
Intricate, fine lines, stylized. It is beautiful. Like the woman should be doing
old school traditional Japanese artwork.
Like it is just glorious. And then she steps over to comic books. And Spec Market has its own place, and people just want to jump on random artists. Like Del Otto is one of my favorite painting artists. They're different artists use different techniques, and it's almost not even fair to compare them to each other.
Yeah.
But Del Otto, some years ago, people were paying obscene amounts for his books, and he's pumping out covers. He's still consistent. He's still doing it. He still has a huge base, but they're not just being chased down and flipped real quick on the spec and the scalp market. The people that don't even collect, they're just this is just money for them, which that's fine too. But Clayton Crane, he's another one that's done that, but he stays consistent, and people are still consistent. I mean, in the last couple months, we just watched her come out of nowhere and just the market just drive her up. And it's not bad art, but I'd like to see colors that pop. It just doesn't look like superhero work. and I know a lot
For
of people
sure.
like it, and everyone can like their own thing. And I know that I'm definitely in the minority of people who do not want to own this book,
Yeah.
despite what I paid for it. So when we hit the 50 subscriber mark, we're
Nice.
going to do a video, and we'll make constant announcements about it for at least a week, so that people know when we're going to do it. And we'll talk about that in each of our videos, so that everyone has a chance to catch these videos, whether you catch them live or at a later time. And as a matter
Yeah.
of fact, we'll start announcing that at the beginning of the videos too, in
I was
case
just
you're not
about to
able to
say,
sit
yeah.
30 minutes into a video. And who knows, it might not be this book by itself.
Right. Yeah, I know. I've got a bunch of double books that I've been planning on using for giving away as well. So
Yeah,
that is,
we've been gathering up books for a while we've been planning on doing all this stuff.
oh yeah. So very cool, man. Yeah, that's I know Peach Momoko for me is very hit or miss. Like I think the death metal book, that's a pretty cool cover. Was not a big fan of the Spider-Man book that she did.
I'm sorry, you didn't see it? I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. I don't think that's her best work as far as the comic stuff goes, but it's by far not her worst.
No, it's not bad artwork. I just, it's just like with Doc Shaner on Flash Forward. He
yeah,
did all the cover A's for Flash Forward. I got all the cover B's. I don't feel
right.
like his art matched the tone and style of the story. I don't feel like
sure.
Peach's art matches the tone and style of anything she's worked on that I've seen covers for her do. Maybe the Darth Maul. That's a close one. Just because there's a whole samurai element to Star Wars. They're walking around with swords.
That is one that I would like to pick up, but I'm not going to break my back over it or anything. But yeah, that Spider-Man cover she did, I just very plain stuff. Not a fan.
That Green Goblin one that just came out was.
I could see her trying to kind of inject like her other art style into that.
I don't really want to get into it, but you saw what the overwhelming comment responses were about her little intricate designs around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what she was thinking, but I have seen some of her other art, and I wouldn't want to say it's sexual because she's, it's her own style, but there is some undertones in that Green Goblin one. That
unintentional undertones, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that you can find intentional in a lot of her actual art pieces.
Yeah, I will say she did I saw a Spider-Man commission that I think I sent to you that I thought was really cool as well. Excuse me. That sort of kind of had that circular thing around him, kind of the same field as the Green Goblin one, having the big crescent behind him or whatever. But
dude, if I met her, I would love to get her to draw me an art piece. I would pull out any issue that I had that's a blank cover, and I would tell her, please do not draw a superhero on this. I don't care what the title of the book is. I want you to do an original piece of art.
Oh, for sure.
Her art, dude, you're gonna sit there and look at it. There's so much going on. Her pencil work is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that some of her actual comic work would. I mean, it's definitely a good drawing. I'm not blind. I can definitely see that's a good drawing. I just think a lot of times it's just the color palette.
Yeah,
like
I will say like it's
flat intentionally.
yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah. To me, some of it looks like a colored pencil type of thing.
Yeah, Finn
especially on
those.
that Spider-Man. Yeah. But
talking about how her covers look like colored pencils, I said, yeah, Finn uses those. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what she does in the future. I
would like her to get a book that doesn't require having interior colors like a lot of books do, and give her interiors. Let's see, because interiors vastly differ from covers, and I haven't seen a single cover that she did that looks anywhere near as difficult as her normal stuff is. So I bet she can do amazing interior work too. You don't see a lot of famous cover artists that do interior work, like Clayton Crane. Having that early Ghost Rider run of his, looking at his interiors, it's definitely different than his covers, but it's still absolutely awesome to open a book and see cover artist style stuff just cover the interior. Alex Ross being the best example. Kingdom
Yeah.
Come, Marvels, Justice, the 12-issue maxi series he did with DC years ago. Like, it's just,
Yeah, but
why
that
would you
dude's at
not buy those books?
that dude's at 100
All the
100% of the
time.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Like he
lives
does
it. That's
not he
why I
doesn't
like
have a
that.
bad day.
You know, he's doing so many projects with Marvel right now. It's like the him and the original, was it Busick or something like that? That was like the
Kurt
Marvels
Busiek.
team. Yeah. And they've got Marvel X, which is the prequel to Earth X. Unfortunately, Ross is not doing the interiors, but he's doing the awesome covers. And I've got to figure out which one it is coming that has the there is a variant for one with X-Force on the cover and is done in the
Nice.
style of Rob Liefeld. And you even pointed out, like, Ross even drew it where you can't see their feet. It's like they're all coming up, but their legs are
Yeah.
down where you
Oh
can't
yeah,
see their
yeah.
feet. But I love Rob Liefeld. You know, his artwork was instrumental in drawing me into comics, thinking this is totally bad. And you know what? And same
Yeah.
thing with people like Todd McFarlane. You look at his work now, he's still relevant, he's still awesome. But if you look back at his 90s stuff with Spawn, you can see where he's evolved, you know? So it's
Oh
a little
yeah.
bit different and whatnot. But he's doing that Marvel X book. You have the Marvel snapshots where he's doing the cover, and they're done in like throwback style, you know? The
Yeah.
Submariner one was set right after fighting in the war with the Golden Age heroes and like the PTSD that people suffer and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then you have the book is just called Marvels, which they talk about it in the forward to the book. This is what the original Marvels was supposed to be, but it got turned into what it ended up being. But it's like an anthology book where different writers and different artists are coming in doing short stories, and there's a story that ties it all in together. And Ross is doing that story that ties it all in together, so he's getting interiors as well. And still
Nice.
waiting on issue 2 of that one. Yeah, I pretty much go after all the Ross stuff.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Minus the Captain America or the Invaders when he's, I don't know, the special stuff that he does like that. You know, he's still a frequently used cover artist. And I'm not just going to go buy books that I'm not intending on reading. You know, just for an ongoing series of covers from him. You know.
Yeah.
But the specials that he does, I'm happy to pick up and check out. I'm normally not let down. You know, the snapshots have been fantastic. I told you about the X-Men one that spotlighted Cyclops, which me and you loved us some Cyclops growing up.
Oh yeah, man.
He's always been one of my favorite X-Men behind Gambit, pretty much. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those days.
That's funny.
But the only snapshot that really sucked was Captain America snapshot because it wasn't about Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah, always looking forward to good Alex Ross artwork. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I'm going to be working tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to go pick up my box, and where my wife works, they're having to put on this annual rally that's been pushed back, and they've had to change the way that it's formatted. And it's normally a big all-day event, and it's not going to be this year. It's going to be very small and personal to the people that where she works. So Friday, when I would normally go pick up my books, came out on Wednesday, I'll probably be doing that. And Saturday, I'm volunteering out there as well as working the latter half of the day. So I'm going to try to get around to pick up my books at some point. I'm hoping I can get there Friday sometime after lunch.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be picking some stuff up down here from Captain's. I may do like a quick video just kind of showing off everything and whatever.
We're still doing the you work Saturday night?
I do, yeah. Yeah.
How much longer are you on this this rotation or the nights?
I'll be on nights till October 24th. Yeah, and actually I'd signed up for another rotation after this next day shift rotation. I'll be on, but I took my name off for that because I don't want to like just do a month of days and get used to a day shift schedule again and switch back to nights. And plus, I had mentioned to you before, like my sleep schedule has been ridiculous. I think Sunday I was awake for a total of like 4 hours, and that was like an hour and a half of that was doing the video. and I ended up passing out again. Like I woke up at 2 or 3 and ended up passing out about 7, maybe 8 o'clock. So definitely messing me up big time.
Can't live life like that.
Not a fan. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, man. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow. Definitely looking forward to. It's a big week. Seems like it's a big week.
It is, yeah, for sure.
Oh, and great news. As you know, and I've mentioned in videos, I've got tons of stuff that I've sent off to be graded. Me and my wife last time you were in town, we went through long box after long box to see what all is in there that's worth getting graded, and started slowly sending them away. And I had a birthday come around, and I had one of my best friends, my best friend next to you. Like, I think you and him would have to both hand me the rings if I ever got remarried to the same woman.
That hurts my feelings.
Yeah. But Lee got me. You trust him enough to cut your hair.
Yeah, that means nothing.
It means something. I know you and your hair. But
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, big deal. But Lee got me a gift card to get some books graded. My mom did the same thing. So I've got I think it's 10 books that I've sent off to get graded, and 2 of which are from the Clayton Crane signing that we went to.
Yeah.
And so I didn't send them all off at the same time. Me and my wife went and sent 2 books off, and then I sent 3 off the next week, and 3 off the next week, then 2 off 2 days after that. And he said they all are probably coming back at the same time this week. He said he got the confirmation that all those things are ready. So I'll be getting literally a stack of slabs.
That'll be awesome.
I've got some shelves in the work. I'd like to be able to put some back there to see. I'm out of space back there. I've got shelves of slabs, and then some that are not even visible that probably just wait till we do our end of the week recap to show off stuff. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And today, the shop owner messaged me earlier the week and asked me if there's anything I was looking that want to get clean and pressed first. I didn't clean or press any of those books because, again, all these are for me. I don't know a big reseller or anything like that. And so I got my Ghost Rider #1 that me and the wife went and got here not too long ago. That was a good copy. It wasn't a high grade, and it had some definite ripples on the top right corner. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the results of that. And I took some before and after some before pictures, and I took Swamp Thing to look at sending off too, but it's not in bad shape. So I just held off on sending that one. I'll just wait till down the road when I'm just ready to get it slabbed up. But it definitely changes the price figure with those older books and then adding that service to it.
For sure.
But I'm looking forward to getting all those back. So there's going to be a lot of cool content going on throughout the week. We'll try to, I don't know if we'll go live to do everything or just make videos and see how that goes.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I've got a few things coming in this week as well. I'm pretty excited about sticking with the whole homage covers, homage, whatever.
Homage, I like that.
Yeah, I've got some of the Marvel Zombies coming in, as well as this. I had this come in a couple days ago. This was actually yesterday. Actually, I think it was. I got the notification that this had been delivered /at the mailbox. Emphasis on the @. Because
big
when
emphasis.
I walked out there, when I walked out there to grab it, it was just laying on the ground. No, I don't understand why. Normally, if it doesn't fit in the mailbox, they'll bring it up to the door.
Do you have any of those other covers lying around to show people the consistency?
I think I actually have the only other one that I have. I've got the Spider-Man 50 cover swipe. Give me just a second.
Yeah, there's really cool if you look through the first series of Marvel Zombies, as well as Marvel Zombies versus the Army of Darkness. They did zombie versions of a lot of famous covers, and the artist who did it, he was really consistent with how he portrayed a specific hero And it was really cool because I've got a bunch of those issues as well, and we were just kind of looking at them, and we caught it. But we'll let him show you and tell you more about it right here.
All right, so actually, because I had the box out, so I went ahead and grabbed the other ones that I have. But this is the thing that kind of confused me about this one. When I was looking through everything, I saw that there is a regular number 1 cover, which is, I think, the Amazing Fantasy 15 swipe. And then you have a second printing, which is, I can't remember which one it was. Another swipe, obviously. But this one, the Spider-Man 50 swipe, just says variant edition on it. But it's technically, I think, the third printing. Because there's a second printing, the variant edition, and then there is the fourth printing. Which, again, I can't remember what that one is either. But number 50 cover swipe right here. Huge fan of it. What's going on?
That's really cool. And one of the local stores here in Augusta just got that actual book back from pressing and grading. It came back at 7.0.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to have that one. First appearance of Kingpin.
It's really not cheap.
Hey. Speaking of, I said I couldn't remember what the fourth printing was, but this is actually it right here. This is the Incredible Hulk number 1 swipe. Very cool. That's the
only one I think that I would want to have that I don't.
Yeah. Huge fan of that one. Of course, again, the Alex Ross.
He was a standout in that series as well. He was awesome. You know, Surfer showed up and they didn't know what to do with him. They couldn't actually get to him, and it was the Hulk that finally just snatched him up and bit his entire head off.
Yeah. And then I have the number 4 issue, which is the giant size X-Men swipe as well.
That's just
very
X-Men
cool.
number 1.
Oh, I thought it was a giant size one.
Mm-hmm. That's really awesome. Look at Cyclops holding his head.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. You have Iceman throwing a skull instead of like a snowball like it is in the original cover, which is cool. And then another thing I kind of wanted to show off. This is a mail call from last week that for the life of me, I can't figure out why I forgot to show it off. You know, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, more so the comics and the TV show. I've got one more issue that I need to finish off the entire Walking Dead run. And actually got this for a pretty decent price. I was surprised, but one of the last ones that I needed was the first appearance of Michonne. Try to keep that glare off
awesome.
of it, guys. Sorry.
With the zombies on the leash.
Yeah. Graded it a 9.4. It's really cool
Not
because no, and the only thing that made
really
it a 9.4 is just some wearing on the back of the cover. There's no spine ticks or color breaks or anything on the front of it. I'm surprised it didn't actually get the famous check mark from CBCS on there. So
they seem to consistently I mean, of course, there's always exceptions to it. Of course.
Yeah.
Before I even say it, they seem to be consistently more strict on their grading, which that's kind of like an awesome trade-off because the market overwhelmingly prefers CGC still, especially for the selling aspect. But as you know, as it just seems like from what I've seen, you know, and it's not like I'm all knowledgeable on this or anything, just from what I've been able to notice, just from the attention that I have paid to it, they pass out 9.8s like candy on Halloween at CGC.
Yeah.
And CBCS, you got to kind of earn them.
Right. Yeah.
They might just be doing that so that their stuff is, I don't know, it's got more clout. You know, you got to make a name for yourself and catch up.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm impressed with the Hulk 102 slab that I have. It was one of their new cases and new labels. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing that I like about the CGCs better is the shape of the label on the back end. I like that indent. I like it a
Mm-hmm.
lot, and I just think the white boxes are crucial. I mean, PGX even
Yeah.
has white boxes. Put white boxes on it. Why would you not put white boxes on it? White or yellow?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to differentiate themselves as well. I wouldn't be
And
mad
something
if
like
they even changed the colors of their labels as well. You know, they're kind of sticking with the blue and the yellow and all that stuff with like CGC has, but I thought it'd be kind of cool if they did their own stuff myself.
get
Because
neon.
yeah, well, I know there was a guy at the Clayton Crane signing that was complaining about the color of the yellow label of CBCS, and he was pretty vocal about it, saying that he would never get anything verified through them or witnessed because of the shade of yellow that CBCS uses.
No, it's not much different. Like it's barely any different. I don't even think it's a color difference as much as a paper difference. Like it might just be the
Yeah,
paper it's printed
it's
on.
definitely a paler yellow that they use. And whenever he said what he said about it, I kind of
You
can't
start
unsee it now.
looking, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
was just like,
that's a
man,
shame because I'm going to be getting some of those here within the week.
oh yeah,
They
it's
don't
not
bother
really
me
gonna.
none. I'm excited to get those that Witness Draken New Dawn #1 that's signed by him, and as well as the Detective 1000 that's signed and remarked by him.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care
that
if
was
you put it
cool.
on pea green label. I mean, I don't care about the color. It's just what it says what it says on it. It means what it means on it. I actually prefer green. I don't care what shade it is. My favorite color.
Right. Yeah, it's a shame that they use that as
A
green
bad
is
thing.
like,
It's
yeah,
stigmatized. Yeah,
yeah.
in the stigma. That also means that I see green. That means I can. It's probably more affordable.
Very true. Very true. Because that's something that I know that there have been a couple. Like I picked up Walking Dead #27 sometime in the past year. That actually I got it cheap because it was a PGX slab. And as soon as I got it, I was like, "Yeah, you're coming out of that thing." So cracked that thing open as soon as I got it and just put it
It
in the
needed to be
collection.
held. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, you can't be in a PGX slab, man. I think I got it for like $50. It was like a
I wonder what
9.2 or something
I
like
wonder
that.
if it would be cheaper to go out and just try to buy PGX slab books versus the raw version of them.
It I, at the very least, I think they'd be the same price. To
If
be honest with you.
if people dislike PGX so much, how are they a viable company? Or do they do other things other than just grading comics?
uh, I don't know that much about them, to be honest with you. I just know that for some reason or the other, they are widely disliked. Um, and that was the only PGX thing that I had ever bought. And like I said,
I don't think I've
immediately,
only seen something in it. I don't think I've ever seen something in a PGX lab in the wild.
not in
I
the
don't think I
wild,
ever
no,
have. Mm-mm.
not at all. Definitely on eBay here and there,
Yeah.
but
Normally it
not.
says not CGC right behind it in the listing.
Yeah, actually, hold on just a sec. I'll show you what I ended up doing with my PGX slab because I kept the case. Hold on just a sec.
Makes me wonder how easy it is to crack a slab without damaging a book. I don't have any that would need cracking, but I do have one that I'm waiting to come back from grading that if it isn't where I want it to be, being that it wasn't cleaned and pressed first, I might take it out of the slab and send it for round 2 with the cleaning and pressing first. There's only
Yeah.
2 books that I have that are sent off right now that I heavily care about the grade that they come back, and I'm not even selling them, and they're both Power Ranger books. But
Oh
one's the 1
yeah.
in 100 White Ranger issue 0 variant, and the other one is my Shredder Green Ranger helmet.
Yeah, I'm gonna
All
get.
my
I
Power Ranger
definitely want to
slabs
get
are
that
9/8.
slabbed.
I want to keep it consistent.
Yeah, I definitely want to get my Shredder Green Ranger helmet graded, but it does have like I noticed a very slight like bend indention on it. So I want to get that taken care of before. But I mentioned this book earlier, and this is kind of like I kind of had it tucked away and protected just because of like what it is for me. Like I love it that much. And I was just like, oh, I can kind of use this old PGX case for it. But bam.
Oh, nice.
That is what is in there now.
How flimsy is it?
Oh no, it's not flimsy at all. It's pretty
So it's
sturdy.
a decent case even.
Yeah, it is a decent case. I just think that for one reason or another, they just caught a bad rap one time. This is something that I've kind of gone back and forth on getting graded just on a preservation aspect, because I don't think that it's a 9.8. I know when I bought it from the guy, he was like, there's a couple of defects on it, but he made it out to be worse than it was. So this might be a candidate for a clean and press.
Are there any color breaks noticeable on it?
No, not at all. Everything looks really, really sharp on this book. But again, because it's Alex Ross.
How did you crack it? What method did you go about getting it out? In my mind, when people say they're cracking them, they're not able to be reused like that.
Yeah. So funny enough, I say that it's a pretty decent case, but when it came in, I want to say it was kind of already like partially about halfway there. I didn't have to do too much. I think I used like a screwdriver or something like that just to kind of get in between.
You separated the front and the back?
Yeah, like this part right here, the side of it. But like on the top where the sticker is, I think it's kind of held. It's held itself together from the top, so it's kind of able to open it like that way.
Yeah.
And I just ended like I tossed this in there. It's still pretty loose, and I can do this and it'll fall down or whatever.
Well, don't do that.
No. But I did tape the bottom of it, so it's not gonna open up and fall out or anything like that. But yeah, this is only because, again, I love Alex Ross. I'm a sucker for cover swipes, especially when he does them. And this one was just phenomenal. I love the trade dress of it. I think he did really well with the colors. One thing I thought was cool, I saw that on some of the prints that he made of it, was what the sky actually looks like behind the trade dress, because it changes the whole picture.
That's pretty cool.
It almost goes to like a blue and orange skyline behind Gotham, and it's very cool. So that was something that I thought about maybe trying to get a hold of, but not super high on the list right now.
Yeah.
It's almost what he did like with the Amazing Fantasy 15 swipe. It's just got a very cool or very nice colors to the skyline and all that stuff.
Yeah, with the Immortal Hulk number 20, it was kind of flat. Just that flat purplish dark color. But still a great looking book.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was huge fan of that. I remember I actually got that when I was at Heroes Con in 2019. And I was super worried because the service down there is notoriously bad in the convention center. And I think that's because it's actually lower than ground level. The convention center is, when you walk in there, you have escalator. Like you walk in on ground level and you have escalators that bring you down. But the last year I think they'd actually installed some like 5G towers in Charlotte or something like that, or maybe even just some antennas for the convention center exclusively, because I know that there were a lot of vendors and sellers that were having trouble with credit card payments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think they did that to kind of help them out. but definitely looking forward to that next year and being able to make videos and stuff like that with it.
Oh yeah,
It's going to
I'm
be
definitely
awesome.
looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a blast actually getting to go with Dad too.
Oh yeah.
Because the last time I went was with Dad. And dude, there's few things more enjoyable than being around a bunch of comics and being around a bunch of comics with someone like Dad who's
Yeah.
been at this for decades. I'll see something and I'll be like, I'm ready to jump on it. He's like, I don't know about that, and you start second guessing life. Like, is he
Yeah.
right? And it's weird how often he is.
Yeah.
Saves me a lot of money listening to him. I was looking at a Peacemaker issue 1 on an auction, and I bid on it. He was actually here, and we were just watching it bid out. I was thinking about bidding on it at the end, and it hit a specific dollar amount. He said, "Nope, sit out. That's not
Yeah.
yours." And then I watched it run up, and it ran up way past what it needed to. And it wasn't even his first appearance. His first appearance was in Fighting 5, but it was his Charlton issue
Yeah.
1. And Dad's like, sit it out. If you want your own copy, get a cheap one because the whole run's just sitting at the house right now. It's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not, man. It's not.
When you put it that way.
Yeah, like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a cool character. My first introduction to him was the trading cards in the early '90s. Who's this guy? Odd
Oh
helmet.
yeah.
Yeah.
John
I'm
Cena.
excited to see him. I think that's perfect for him. Excited to see him in action.
Yeah.
But yeah, we done hit the hour mark, man, and I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up and start wrapping these kids up. They're super chill. I'm gonna go hang out with them for a little bit before it's bedtime. You there? Well, I think Brent done froze up on me. But yeah, we're going to get wrapping it up for the end of the night here, and keep an eye out for videos that we'll have coming up here soon. And yeah, you guys have a good night.